Welcome back, my dear students. This is Dr. Osama Kashwa, and we were going to talk today about the chapter 2 in this book, the legal framework. And I'll be talking with you like around, like hopefully like around 45 minutes. Then we will make another video if we need. So basically, this we will start like share the screen first. Then we'll go to, yeah. This is the book which you should buy or which you should use. And this is chapter 2, which we'll talk about just now. It's operating within the legal framework. So the outcomes of this, when you finish this chapter, you will come to learn. First thing, explain the impact of law on the behavior and actions of managers. Discuss the legal framework of human resource in Canada. Describe discrimination and harassment in workplace. And this is a big issue in the whole world, not only in Canada, in every place, because the harassments and the discrimination are one of the biggest problems which is facing the workforce anywhere in the world now. Outline the manager's role in creating a work environment. Okay, the work or the climate, the work environment which we are working in, there is too much conflicts, there's too much stress, there's too much burning out, there's too much feeling job alienation, means like I'm feeling like I'm a stranger inside my job. I'm feeling I'm not in a good mood with the people who are around me. We are all like suffering. Everyone like is not in love with the other, is not kind to the other. So this is about the environment. Identify the general types of employment law in Canada. So we will talk about like the employment law, how it works, like what's your rights, what's your obligations. Explain the relationship between employment, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And this is also an important point. The equity means all employees are the same. You treat all of them the same. You don't punish someone with 1 day off, cut off, and another one you leave him. No, all the people are the same. You don't reward someone, give him a reward, like a certificate of achievement or whatever. And another person, you just neglect him. This is not fair. This is unlogic. Diversity and inclusion as well. Discuss the concept of ethics, and this is very important nowadays in all the management sciences. We talk about the ethics as main or a core subject in the management science. Ethics is the things inside you and the norms which you have been raised up with, which tell you what you ought to do and what you ought not to do. It's a kind of a law, but it's internal law inside you. It tells you what's right and what's wrong, what is a good manner, what's a good behave, and what's the bad behave. Impact on managers as well. This is also determines what's expected to successfully manage people. Yeah, good treatments. Like I said, if you have conceptual skills, and you have human skills, and you have technical skills about your work, those are the prerequisites for success of any work you will do. Laws are written to protect employer. Laws are written to protect employer and employees. Exactly. So here we want to say that the law is protecting both the parties. The employer, we said before, employer is the boss. Employer is the boss. Employer is the boss. While employee is the one who's working for the boss, or is the one who's working with the boss. Treating employees a certain way is not just a legal requirement, but is a good business. Exactly. See this sentence? When you treat the people in a fair way, in a good way, you just don't do a good treatment or a legal requirement, but it's a good for your business because people will love their organization. They will have a higher morale And when they have a higher morale, they will have a higher levels of productivity that will lead to increase their production. Then this will cause the success of your organization. What is the legal background of the human resource management? What is the legal background of the human resource management? Well, the legal means the law or by law. So, what is the legal? Means things should be done by law. Okay, how about the backgrounds? Backgrounds means the basics of the law is what? So in Canada here we have federal legislation or federal laws, which is like it's on the whole Canada. And we have provincials, like a province of Ontario, the province of Alberta, the province of British Columbia. Each one of them, of these provinces, is having also a kind of slightly, just a little bit different in applying the acts, in the act itself, which is a branch of the law. And territorials as well. Territorials means like the places, the territories of the north, the very far north, east and west. Canada Labor Code, yeah, like every place is having labor code. Canada also is having a labor code, and the Human Rights Acts as well. All this are the umbrella which is covering the employer rights and the employee rights. We said that the law is helping both the employer and the employee. Personal information protection and electronic documents. PIPEDA, P-I-P-E-D-A. So this stands, P stands for personal, I stand for information, P stands for protection, E stands for electronic, D stands for documents, and A stands for acts. When we talk about the human rights legislations here, the federal and the provincial, we will talk about the discrimination. Discrimination, if it is intentional, means you mean it, or unintentional means that you didn't do it purposely. Bona fide occupational requirements, and this we'll talk about in details. Reasonable accommodations, harassment. So these are the human rights legislations. Let us go and see. What do we mean by the discrimination? And this is very important. What do we mean by the word discrimination? The exclusion of members of certain groups, though the application of employment policies or practices based on criteria that are not job related. As example, I'm discriminating you means like I'm having a background about something, I have a prejudice like before I see you, and it makes my own decision based on this, but it's not objective decision. Means I have backgrounds inside my head, I have some illusions, some conceptions, whatever, and it makes me, when I treat you, I don't treat you in the proper way. Okay? So it's like kind of generalizing. Some people sometimes they generalize. If there is someone is bad, they will say the whole people of this area are bad people. Then you have to treat them accordingly. And this is wrong, because every place there is a good and a bad. So this one of the points is very important, because sometimes the people like to generalize, and to generalize the behavior. If someone is bad, that means all his area are very bad. He comes from this piece, then he's like, no, it shouldn't be working like this. Like this won't work. The discrimination also is like the gender discrimination, the age discrimination. As example for the age discrimination, some managers like to hire, as example, the young people, because the young people can move on very fast. They can go here, they can go there. They're very active. They won't take a sick leave. And they don't hire the old people, because this is also a kind of discrimination. The word discrimination, this is also kind of discrimination, or one of this type. type of the gender. Like sometimes a man will say, an employer will say, why should I hire a woman or a lady? I can hire a man. That's better for me. Or I can hire like this. So when I hire a man, he will work more. He won't take pregnant leave. He won't this, he won't that. So this is also a kind of discrimination. So the systematic discrimination, for what it goes, the exclusion of members of a certain group through the application of employment policies or practices based on criteria that are not job related. That's fine. Okay. Systematic discrimination, hidden employment barriers. You don't see it. You don't see the barriers. You don't see it. It's hidden. Can't result in inequities of individuals discouraged based on their membership in certain group. Yes, always the result of the discrimination is inequity, means you don't treat the people with the same scale. You don't weight always with the same scale. You always have to prefer someone against another person or another group. You like these people because they are from your temple. You like these people because they are from your religion. You like these people because this blah, blah, blah. So all this will make inequity. And this is not a red part. Okay. Examples include inflated job requirements or recruiting only close friends. As example, for this discrimination, oh, why shall I hire you? I will hire this guy. I knew him very well. Regardless, this guy might be working well or might be not working well, maybe higher or lower in qualification than you, but he just because he's friends. That's it. So this is kind of like I'm saying of discrimination. That's fine. Okay. Now, I want you to watch the following video. It will take a few minutes and it will show me the discrimination. Then we'll go to these questions and answer it. But let's see. Let us take a look at the questions first. Regarding the discrimination, take notes and will be well prepared to answer the following questions. What do you mean by the discrimination? What are the types of discrimination? So let us go and see this video and come back. It won't take a long time. It's about 2-3 minutes because this is all my videos are like around 2-3 minutes, which I put for my students. So let's go and see it. And it's giving us what is the meaning of discrimination. It gives us an idea about the discrimination. Let's see.
Today, I want to talk about discrimination. For example, discrimination against women has been a constant throughout history. In England, at one point, a woman was legally the property of her father until she was ceremonially passed to her husband through marriage.
Are we all set for Friday's business trip?
Almost. I just need your husband to fill out this permission slip.
And racial discrimination has brought out the worst in humanity. Apartheid in South Africa, segregation in the US, the history of colonialism.
All right. Team Australia's going to be letting in John Smith. Congratulations, John. Next up, we've got Jane Brown. Well done, Jane. Welcome aboard. And nah, not today, sir.
How could I have improved my chances?
Well, you could try being a little less, you know.
Fortunately, today, international law prohibits discrimination on the basis of things like race, gender, or religion. Unfortunately, discrimination still abounds. For example, indirect discrimination, which looks like this.
All right, new team policy. New uniforms, including shoes, must be bought and worn every week. All right, we cannot be looking out of style, people.
I can't afford that, Coach. I'm from a lower socioeconomic background, and due to generations of entrenched racial discrimination and white privilege, I find upward social mobility a bit difficult to achieve at the moment. Can I still play, though?
No. Sorry, kid, you're off the team.
Different treatment is sometimes allowed if it's reasonable and achieves a legitimate objective. For example, special measures to help historically disadvantaged groups. Governments must create equality of opportunity if we're going to get that level playing field. I'm Alice Fraser. Good night.
So thanks for watching. We'll go back to our own class and check out. So here we have the questions with what do you mean by discrimination? And she said the answer in the video. I want you to retrieve it back and just write it as notes down. What are the types of discrimination? She focused on 3 types of discrimination. You guys know what they are? 3 types of discrimination. She talked about the race, the gender, the religious. 3 kinds of discriminations she handled in this. And I want you to search the web for more types of discrimination, if it's possible, and write it down in your notes here, please. Now, let us go to bona fide occupational qualification. Job qualification that may be discriminatory due to business or safety reasons. We call it bona fide. For safety reasons, duty to accommodate, requirement that employers just employment practices to avoid discrimination. Requirements that employers adjust employment practices to avoid discrimination. What you have to do if you are a boss, what you should do to prevent the people who are working with you from doing the discrimination. Reasonable accommodations. This is extension or explanation for the previous point. Make an adjustment to any aspect of working conditions to prevent discrimination. Employers expected to accommodate to the point of undue hardship, right? Differences is in undue hardship for small and large organizations. So I'm trying as an employer by any way to reduce down or to lower down things that will encourage for discrimination. I'm trying to get it as a barrier. I don't want it here, right? Reverse discrimination. What about the reverse discrimination? Giving preferences to members of certain groups such that others feel they are the subject of discrimination. Like, I care about you more than I care about the other employee. I show him more interest. When he talked to me, I listen to him more than I listen to you. So you will feel a kind of reverse discrimination. How about the harassments? We hear about the word harassment everywhere. Everywhere we hear about the word harassments. Any conduct or comment that a reasonable person would consider objectionable or unwelcome. See, I feel like I don't like the way you're talking to me. I feel I'm not comfortable for what you talk. The tone of your talk is not nice. Usually is used in Canada here. I don't like the tone of your speech. I don't like the tone of your speech. Like, you're not talking in a good manner, like, or whatever. It's a kind of harassment. Harassment, let us see, what do we mean by the harassment here? And it's not only the sexual harassments. There are a lot of types of harassments as well. Consists of a variety of workplace behavior and actions. Concept of reasonable person can be costly to any organization, of course, because when there is harassment, there are a lot of troubles. There are more troubles. Policies and procedures to prevent and deal with harassments. The policies and the procedures to prevent and deal with harassments. And this is another point. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on to another point, which is enforcement of human rights legislations. in this point, enforcement of human rights legislations, I am an employer. I have to force to make sure by law that all the legislations and the acts and bylaw acts and whatever against discrimination is applied successfully in my own company. That I do this and I keep on this, not just do it, not just announce it on a panel or on a board, a whiteboard, and that's it. No, you have to always make sure that these legislations and these acts are applied successfully 100% in your own organization, and that every one of your employees comprehend and understand and aware and apply this package of laws against discrimination, against harassment. Everyone know about the others, respect the others. Okay, especially in a place like Canada here, when you have a diversity from all over the world, people from all over the world are working here. You never go to any place, you will find all the ethnics and all the races. So in a place like this, you as an employer, as a boss, you have to make sure that all the people are okay. You have to make sure that no discrimination in your workplace. You have to make sure that there is no harassment in your workplace. You have to make sure that the people are welcoming and practicing this as well, but not only just feeling or just talking and that's it. No, it's applicable. You can apply it there 100% efficiently and effectively. Okay, let us see the enforcement of human rights. Complaint driven. I have to check about the complaints, any complaints, investigations. I have to do investigation whenever it is. Determination of reasonable cause or not. So I have also always to watch out as employer, as a boss in my company, or as a manager, or as a human resource manager. I have to check always, is everything in place or no? If this is a reasonable cause, an incident, as example, happens something between two laborers working for you, and you have to check out if this is belong to harassment, belong to kind of discrimination, belongs to kind of type of breaching the laws, then you have to stop here and make sure that it will never, there must be a prosecution, there must be a kind of punishment for who do it, so that it will not be repeated again. You have to make a decision. That's what I'm saying about this. But before that, you have to make a resolution or reconciliation. You have to make the situation like resume the normal situation back, and you make a decision, then acceptance or appeal. The employment standards legislations, minimum obligations of employees, typically reflects view of government in relation to social policy, covers such as like hours of work. Those are the laws which protect the employer rights and the employee right as well. Hours of work, overtime pay, vacation pay. Administered by the Agency of Commission for both the interpret and the enforces legislations. This is another point also, because all of these points is helping in stopping out any discrimination or any kind of harassment that is found in any organization in Canada or elsewhere in the world. But actually we are applying on Canada here. Okay. Labor relation legislations govern process and procedures between trade unions and employers. The law, the way or the path, or the procedures by which an employee, as example, had work injury how he will be compensated, how will he be like reimbursed, where he will get a kind of reimbursements, okay, or a compensation for what happened to him. There is a route, there is rules that govern the relationship between the employer and the employee, between the boss or the manager or the leader and the employee or the worker. Like I said, employer is the boss, employee is the worker. There must be a relationship that governs both of them. This path or this way or this channel is done through the trade unions and the employer. There is a line between them. There are unions and there are employers, okay? My rights as an employee who's working for employer, I will get it from the union, okay? I don't go to the union by myself, but there are people who resemble me, and they negotiate with the unions, okay? Administered through a labor relations board. That's fine. Health and safety legislations and worker compensation. Still, I'm telling you, those all the package of laws that help for preserving, keeping the workers, the employee rights, and the employer rights. It's making for everyone his own area which he can work through. Is highlighting what the employer ought to do and what he ought not to do. Same thing for the employee, what he ought to do and what he ought not to do. So everyone will be clear for him, his duties, his rights, and his own responsibilities. It will be appeared very clearly to everyone. Govern employer's responsibility for healthy and safe workplace. This is the health and safety legislations. It means I have the right to work in a place which is very positive, very safe climate, no risk for me as a worker. I won't work in a place like it will be full of risk of injury or any kind of hazards like troubles. So if you go to a factory, as example, you won't work in a factory while the wires are emerging out of the wall without covering, so you will be electrocuted. Like, no. Or you will work in poison place and you don't have an idea about what you are doing, and you are taking the poison inside your body in a direct way. Or you are healing, as example, dust or whatever. No. So those are, we call it health and safety legislations. This will also put a borderline for the worker and the employer. And by the way, it's the responsibility of both the employer and the employee. As example, if the employee saw anything that it looks like risk or hazard, he should notify his boss, his employer. Also, the employer should tell all his employees about the risk of the work, about things which is hazard or not, about how to protect themselves, and put 3 lines on this. How to protect themselves, how the employees will protect themselves against work risk or work hazards. Okay. Provides monetary payments to employees if illness or injury caused by the job. Employment equity. Employment equity means I feel in the organization which I'm working in that I'm equal to all the other people. I don't feel discrimination, never feel the discrimination, like never feel that this person A is better than me or C is better than me. No, all the people are equal, all are the same. Okay, so if you make a distinction, that means you are not in the right place, you are in the wrong path. A a distinct Canadian process for achieving equality in all aspects of employment. Now let's go to this video and watch it about the employment equity. It will take from us a few minutes just to watch this video, about 2 or 3 minutes, but it's giving us what the meaning of equity. Then after we watch this video, we have 2 questions to ask. What do we mean by employment equity? What are the consequences of employment inequity? If you don't have equity, if you don't have fair treating for all your employees as a boss or as a manager or as employer, if you don't treat the people, all the people the same way, simply if you don't treat the people, all the people you have working with you in the same way. So what are the consequences of feeling distincted, of feeling discriminated? That's what I want you to know and to answer after you see this video, please. Let us go and see the video. Yeah.
It's very easy to hire somebody. It is so tough to get rid of them when your business can't sustain it anymore. So they prevent, if you loosened up on some of those red tape heavy regulatory.
Trying to get them to hire disabled people, because in fact the record of business in hiring disabled, in fact historically hiring women on an equal basis has been absolutely abysmal.
No, it
So in
hasn't.
that sense,
No, I don't know where
the
you're
only
getting your data.
reason why
Maybe Afghanistan or something, but not
no,
Canada.
oh,
Let's
come.
face
You
it.
know, Catherine, I'm sorry, you clearly don't read widely enough to know that
Yes,
the
I actually do
unemployment
read
rates
quite
amongst
widely.
disabled people are so high. They're in fact rates of poverty are out of
Not
this
women.
world.
I was commenting
But-
on women.
Well,
just
but
for the
also,
record.
I mean, even women, there is clearly a glass ceiling, and the only reason why, in many cases, women were pushed into various sectors is because we had early levels of pay employment regulation, employment equity. Those kind of regulatory interventions are absolutely critical to get hiring of certain groups.
Support Ontario's public television. Donate at tvo.org.
This also is another kind of types of discrimination, which is including the equities itself.
Direct discrimination is when someone is treated less favorably than someone else because of a protected characteristic.
Loads of work stuff gets talked about after work, over a drink. And I was brought up not to drink, so I don't go to pubs.
I know she fits the spec, and I know you want to employ more women, but can we be practical for a moment? Now, I've got 2 of my best people off on maternity leave right now, 2. Now, the last thing I need is another woman who might go and get pregnant.
Indirect discrimination is when a rule or policy that applies to everyone puts a certain group at a disadvantage.
So it looks like we all think the strongest candidate is
The chap who's standing here at Foley's.
Leo Cohen.
yeah, but we can't use it because of the Friday problem.
But it seems a shame not to be able to give him the job just because we have management meetings on Friday afternoons and he's asked to be able.
I guess by this type, or you saw 2 videos, I put only here one about the inequity, and the inequity she was talking about the inequity of the disabled people. So the inequity will make you feel that you will have a lower levels of morale, and your productivity will go less because you feel like you are a second class in the same company, or a third class person. You won't feel that all the people are the same. You are not like other people. Then you might turn aggressive. You might turn with a bad behavior against the place. Or you might look for a work in another company when you feel that you are discarded, you feel you are neglected, when you feel that they are treating people in a better way than they are treating you. All this will lead to a problem, and the problem will always increase inside yourself, and you will never give this company, which is practicing an equity policy, you will never give them the best you have in yourself. No, you will be always against them, till you find another job. And that's what we call turnover. So the inequity leads to higher levels of turnover. Means the number of people who leave working in this organization and go to seek for work in others because of inequity. Okay. Designated group, women members of visible minorities, indigenous people, and persons with disabilities who have been disadvantaged in employment. And this is what the video was talking about just now. It was talking about people with persons with disabilities. So you have to apply the equity. Means when you are having equity principle, that means that you are treating all the people the same, even the people with disability. Here, guys, I'm hiring them. I'm good, man. I'm a good employer because I'm hiring these people. I didn't say because they have any problem, they have any kind of disability, so I won't hire them. No, I'm hiring them as well. And good society is always this percentage because more and more and higher, because these people, not because they lose one of their organs or for any reason that means that they have to lose life and they have to sit on the bench and do nothing. No, still they are productive, still they have a power to do something as anybody else. Pay equity, yes. If I work for 2 hours, you will pay me $10, right? So the other person, if you work the same, you will pay him $10 as well. You won't pay him more, you won't pay him less. So when there's equity, all are having same pays, all are having same rewards, all are having same incentives, all are having same motives. And this is the meaning of the equity. The practice of equal pay for work of equal value. Pay equity. Federal legislation that applies to federally regulated companies. Pay equality legislations is in 6 provinces. Okay, we have in Canada 6 provinces. They have equity pay. Difficulties in determining equal value or for dissimilar jobs. This is another problem actually, because when life becomes very complicated now, this leads to differences, and there is a variance in the jobs based on, as example, let me say a professor who's having about 25 years of experience in working as a teacher, and there is a new teacher who's having only 2 years of experience. How will I make it equity between them? How will I make it equal, the pay equal? Like, it's very difficult. If I have an engineer in IT as example, who's having 25 years in information technology, and I have a recent entry-level awarded student is coming to work, how could I make it equal for both of them in the pay? This is another problem. Diversity, like the diverse mean different ethnics, different races, working in one place, all of them are working in one place, different types, even in the same country. If people from the north and the south, maybe they're different in habits, in cultures, in everything. So this is also diversity. The combination of organizational policies and practices that supports and encourages employees' differences in order to reach business objective. The objective means rational decisions here. It means everything is rational. Everything is rational. That's the meaning of the objective. Okay. Here we go. I just want you to watch out this video now about the diversity at the workplace, because we said the diversity means that you have different people from different places. The problem is in the different cultures, because everyone is having his own beliefs, his attitudes, his values, everything is different, because people from the north and people from the south, people from east and people from west, and people who are living close by the beaches, by the cities on the beaches, and people who are living inside in the desert as well. So they have different kinds, though even from the same country, but still they have different beliefs, attitudes, ways of thinking, expressions, their own expressions. Everything is different. How about when you just like enlarge your scale and come to apply this on international? As example, the multinational companies, they have a lot of people working from different countries, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, this and that, and all are working in one place. Or those people from different cultures, and they are all working in one place. This is a big issue, and you have to handle it because it is a diversity issue. Let's go to this video and see about quickly. Let us see what do we mean by the diversity, and this will help us as well.
Hello world, my name is Shelly, and today we're going to talk about the importance of diversity in the workplace. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you're notified of our future content. Businesses that understand the importance of diversity in the workplace are known to perform better both financially and culturally. When employees work with other people from different backgrounds, they have the opportunity to learn from one another to produce higher quality products and services. Having a diverse workplace will also foster a positive working environment in which your employees will grow and thrive. Number 1, expand your talent pool. When your business is a champion for diversity in the workplace, you will expand your talent pool. Your employees will have different skill sets, backgrounds, and experiences. They will be able to collaborate together and learn from each other, which will make them more well-rounded employees. Number 2, promote innovation. When employees with diverse backgrounds collaborate on projects, this will promote innovation on your team and within your organization. Innovation will come from the conflicts that arise when teams are diverse. When you listen to many different ideas from different types of people, you will have the opportunity to combine ideas to create innovation for your products or services. Number 3, grow your business. Businesses with a diverse employee base are known to have an equally diverse customer base. When your business shows that they understand the importance of diversity in the workplace, you will attract different types of customers, which will help grow your business. Your employees can also bring in customers via word of mouth, which will also help expand your customer base. Number 4, improve your business reputation. The culture of your business is imperative if you want to attract and retain top talent within your organization. Businesses with a diverse employee base are known to have conflict, but they also resolve conflict to come up with new innovations for daily tasks or business processes. These innovations will help your employees grow and thrive in their careers. Through speaking with their colleagues and customers, your employees' positive stories about their work will propagate a positive reputation for your business. You can learn other leadership skills in my Pluralsight course, Managing Technical Professionals. It includes animated scenarios to walk you through how to handle conflict on your team. There's a link in the description to the course preview on Pluralsight if you're interested.
Hi everyone, Jason.
Thank you for watching, and this is how you will deal as employer with the workplace diversity. And this is very important because it's guidelines how to, it will lead you to succeed. Okay, inclusion, putting the concept of diversity into action. This is the conclusion. Diversity, once inside a company, when I have a diversity, then I will start to apply the inclusion. Diversity and inclusion, optimizing everyone's background for business success, voluntary. Inclusive, not the same as employment equity. It's not like the employment equity, no. Need to create environment for success. It needs to create an environment for success. Of course, like what you saw in the video, if you have a diversity, let's make your talents, the talent for your employees free. Let them, encourage them to get out all what they have. okay, to work to the extremist, like bring out all the maximum power of how they can help in the work. Treat people as individuals. Don't treat the people as machines. You have to treat them as individuals. Link directly to business objectives. Be very objective. Objective means that you are rational. Rational means your decision is not based on bias or distinction or inequity. Your decisions are based on the objective. Objective means you make your decisions very clear, without bias, without your own personal feelings in affecting your own decision, that affects your own decision. Organizational ethics, it's very important also. Ethics, sorry. The ethics, like I told you before, is what's supposed to be and what's supposed not to be, what you ought to do and what you ought not to do. And it's when you see, we are raised, all the people are raised on the ethics. Ethics is including the right parts and the bad parts, the good things and the bad things. The problem in something is called ethical dilemma, and we will come to talk about it later on. Things that matter to us, that motivate our behavior. Here it is, okay? And actually, the positive ethics in all humanity are common factors. They are almost the same. We all agree that not to tell lies. We all agree that killing is not a good thing, or punishing people is not a good thing, or hurting people is not a good thing, not a good manner. And this is, I'm saying just, it's a common for all the people all over the world. The common things, the guidelines are the same. Like, you don't tell lies, you don't kill, you don't steal people money. Those are main issues in the ethics. Okay. I want you just to think about these questions and write it down in your notes now. Discuss the relationship between ethics and diversity in business units. Like I told you, even though there is a diversity, but still most of the people are having the most common issues in ethics. Like I told you, all the people hate telling lies, all the people like to be honest, all the people like to treat the people in a good way, except some, of course, there are some exceptions, but still the majority like this. Do you think that business can survive without code of ethics? I want you to answer this question, to search the web, to look in your book, and to give me a reason why. Please write down these notes. You can write in not more than 2 pages, and we can discuss it on the next class. Thank you so much. Now, the organizational ethics, like there is ethics, a code of ethics inside every one of us. Also in the organization, there is organizational ethics, that things ought to do and things not to do. As example, I have a kind of rule inside me not to come late to work, okay? This will be common for all the people, except some of them, they might have a habit, like they might be late or whatever. Code of ethics govern internal and external relationships. Okay, I'm good with my friends, I'm good with my colleague, I'm good with my co-worker, that's fine. That's fine. I don't tell lies, I treat the people in a good way. So it's internal and external relationships. Internal means inside the organization. External, like I said, it's out of the organization. You won't be good, honest outside of the organization you are working in, and you will be dishonest inside the organization. Not fair. It's not logic. A person is a person. What he's carrying inside himself of values and attitudes are the same, whatever he is, internal or external. Formal written statement of an organization's primary values. Yes, some organizations, they like to write their own values and show up them to all the people. Our mission, our vision, okay. Whistle blowing, that's fine. Set an example of coding or the ethics in your real life. I want you to answer this question. Like something, an example of your own. Don't take it, copy and paste from books. Apply the code of ethics Check out the code of ethics, the ethics or the meaning of ethics, and tell me something about yourself. Like you are describing a good point in you or a positive ethic manner point on you, just tell me about it. At the end of this lecture, let's, without looking at the books, please turn off your book. Shut your book down and just please, I want to talk to you like we will talk about 2-3 minutes about what are the main subjects which we talk about today. Please, you can write down now these points. What are the main points did we discuss today? You can write it down here. And I don't want you to look at the books. I just want you to remember, retrieve it back from your mind. Memorize it. If you find it very difficult, you can ask me, or you can ask one of your colleagues around you. You can work in pairs as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, appreciate it. This is the end of chapter 2 and for week 2. Thank you so much and have a great day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.